Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 170 of our Get Your Goals Annual Challenge. Today we're talking about, as we continue on our financial goals emphasis this month, the topic of our mindset, our money mindset, in particular, abundance versus scarcity. This is one of my favorite topics. I like to believe I grew up with an abundance money mindset, and that helped frame my choices and decisions, and the things I decided, and my identity, the things I decided were right for me or not right for me. And over the course of my life, I will admit, and it's hard to admit, that I let my environment, people I hung around with, sometimes very important relationship in my life, negatively impact my thoughts, my beliefs, and my feelings about money, and let some scarcity thinking into the cracks. It wasn't until probably my mid to late 40s that I started even thinking about or understanding that the results I was getting were a direct result of, or were directly related to, the thinking I had, the thoughts and beliefs that I held about different topics in my life. And one, for many of us, that's really primary is our money mindset. Now, an abundance mindset. Let's talk about what's an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. What's the difference? How does it impact us quickly? And then how do we develop a healthy money mindset, right? Because we all want to have a healthy money mindset so that we attract money to us. You know, whether you believe it or not, there's universal laws that work in all of our lives. What you put out into the world is what you get back. It's the law of karma. We attract, everything is energy. We attract what we think about most and believe, and spend most of our energy on, our emotional energy, our physical energy, our thoughts and beliefs. What we spend time thinking about ends up showing up in our life, whether it's positive or negative. And if it's the lack of something that we think we want, if we think about not having it yet more than we think about our desire to have it and imagine us having it, guess what? The lack of it continues to show up in our life. And this is especially true of money. So a money mindset, a positive money mindset, an abundance mindset includes things like gratitude, being grateful for what we have already, positive thinking. Guess what? Negative thinking does not attract anything but negative thinking. So if you have negative thoughts about money, you're going to repel it. You're going to push it away. You're not going to do it on a conscious level, but your energy and your negativity will push it away. Openness to opportunity. If you are closed off and very risk averse, you're not even going to see all of the opportunities that are around each and every one of us all the time. Generosity. People that have an abundance mindset realize that the universe has everything all of us need and much, much more. And by helping other people, being generous with other people, being kind to other people, all of us can be kind. It doesn't cost us anything to be kind and positive and encouraging to other people. And part of an abundance mindset is realizing that there's plenty to go around. Therefore, you can give things away. You can give your love and appreciation and admiration away to other people. I need my magnifying glass. I have no idea what this says, so we're going to skip it. All right. Scarcity mindset includes things like doubt, worry, fear, anxiety about money or not having enough money. Limited beliefs such as there's only one pie, there's only so much money, there's only so many resources, everything's limited, and I have to make sure I get my piece of the pie, and that means somebody else doesn't get their piece of the pie. That would be an example of limited beliefs, limited thinking, scarcity, and lack. Hoarding and frugality, being really frugal and cheap, looking for all the ways to save and cut corners and get discounts, is being frugal, although it can be a positive thing. You know, setting priorities and choosing how we spend our resources wisely can be a positive thing. It can also be a negative thing. Hoarding doesn't just apply to physical things or money. It applies to knowledge. If you're keeping all of your knowledge to yourself and you're not going to share it with anybody, number one, it's kind of naive to think that somebody else doesn't have the same knowledge and wisdom that you've acquired throughout your lifetime with, nearly 8 billion people on the planet. Probably someone is smarter than we are, right? Comparison and envy is characteristic of the scarcity mentality. Do you compare yourself to other people? One of the fastest ways to feel bad about yourself in any area or aspect of your life is to compare yourself to other people. Guess what? There's only one you, and there's only one of any person you're comparing yourself to. And guess what? We only ever see the tip of the iceberg of other people. We only ever share the tip of the iceberg of ourselves with other people. And so we have to remember that what we're seeing, it's just like social media. What you're seeing is just the highlight reel. It isn't the whole story. So ask yourself, what is the whole story? And then compare yourself to them in all the ways, not just in the one way that you happen to be focusing on. People do this a lot with respect to our financial goals and financial well-being. No, it's not. Comparing yourself to others will not encourage or lead to financial well-being. So what are some ways to develop a healthy money mindset? We've talked about these in other areas and aspects of our life, because how you develop a healthy money mindset is the same way you develop a healthy mindset in every area and aspect of your life. Number one, be self-aware. Be aware of the places where you want to improve, where you know that you're having scarcity thoughts and lack thoughts or beliefs or behaviors that you want to change. I don't want to say hoarder, but I do have a lot of stuff, right? And I have a lot less stuff than I used to, but I used to have so much stuff. When I moved out of my house, I lost track of how many truckloads we took to charity, literally truckloads of things to charity that I'd accumulated over the years. And I know there's excuses and reasons for it, but I still had way too much stuff that other people could use, right? And could gift to their lives that I certainly wasn't using anymore. So being aware that I am a collector, I like to say collector instead of hoarder, being aware that I have a natural tendency to do that. And if you look around me, there's always a lot of stuff around me. I can remind myself that that can be a sign of scarcity and lack. And am I collecting and keeping things thinking that I'm never going to get them again out of a sense of scarcity? Or am I collecting them because they make me feel good and they make me smile? All these little silly little rubber ducks I got, they're for my granddaughter, but they make me smile. So could we get rid of them? Sure, but now we got another granddaughter coming up, so she's going to want the rubber ducks too. So being aware of and asking yourself questions, thinking about the stuff that might be going on in your subconscious mind. Secondly, education. We want to educate ourselves on different topics with respect to financial well-being, financial health, and financial goals, and making sure that we're making the choices and decisions that are in alignment with an abundance and a positive money mindset as we move forward. Having a gratitude practice, I will tell you, having a gratitude practice, appreciating what you have already and being grateful for that is the secret sauce and secret weapon to so many people's success. And consciously, they might not even be aware that they've got a gratitude practice and that they're doing it. It's just inherent in their being and their mindset, and they just naturally are grateful and appreciative for the gifts that come into their life. We know people like that, right? We know people that are miserable all the time. No matter what good things happen to them, they can turn it into something sour and miserable. We also know people that can go through hardships and drama and trauma and challenges and still come out positive and smiling and getting the lessons learned from those. And that comes from having a gratitude mindset and an abundance mindset and a positive mindset. Goal setting, obviously this is a big topic. We're talking about it every day this year. Continuous learning. Now, I don't know where I got it. Probably from my parents, because my parents were always learning, always growing, always reading, always learning and doing more and contributing more to the world. But we want to continue learning and growing and becoming more aware of ourselves and what's right for us and what's not for us. Part of why I love learning, I think, is I'm curious about things that are for me and things that are not for me. And so part of that is I need to learn to find out if it is for me or not. Number 7, surround yourself with positivity. Positive people, positive environments, positive things that you feed your mind, positive things that you read or encounter. If you're online, go for the positive stuff, not the negative. Believe me, there's a 98% negative for the 2% positive online. And if you're watching the news and media, I'm going to caution you to turn that crap off. I did in the 1980s, and I'm so grateful that I did. Keep in mind that developing a healthy money mindset, it's a journey. It's not I'm going to decide today that I'm going to have a healthy money mindset, although deciding, making a decision, and committing to that helps. you're still going to have times and things that challenge your thinking, challenge your mindset. You're going to have people that challenge your mindset. The more positive and open and grateful you are, guess what? That attracts the opposite. So people will like beat on your bubble, but it doesn't mean you have to let them in. But keep in mind, it's just like everything else in life. Everybody thinks we're going to decide something one day and the next second we're going to be a gazillionaire. It doesn't work that way. We have to put in the effort and the work and the energy to create the value to get the value back. Practice visualization. Again, that's another one of those. We're going to talk about a lot of these over and over and over again. Tools that absolutely positive work. Goal setting, gratitude, affirmations, visualization, meditation, all these things work. People don't talk about them because they don't work. They talk about them because they do work. Take calculated risks. When you see an opportunity that feels right for you, go for it. Will it go perfectly? Probably not. Most things don't. But we want to take calculated risks, meaning we consider the plus and minus, the consequences, the pros and cons of all the decisions and the choices that we make. But we can't live in that little bubble and never expand it if we want to have a healthy money mindset. Focus on solutions. This is also one of my favorite topics. So many people focus on the problem, but guess what? As long as you're focusing on the problem, you can't come up with a solution because our brains, our minds can only work on one thing at a time. So if we focus on solutions, we'll get solutions. Number 12, practice generosity. We've talked about that. Celebrate financial wins. Remember, there's going to be wins and there's going to be losses whenever we're dealing with anything in our life. So we want to learn from the losses and celebrate the wins. And we don't want to party our brains out. We just want to celebrate and go on to the next thing. 14, and this is, well, I guess I'll share a couple more. Embrace abundance in other areas and aspects of your life. One of the things I love to do is go for walks in nature. Why? Because if you need to see some examples, physical, visual, things that you can touch, if you walk in nature, all around you, you are surrounded by abundance. And that shows us and reminds us that we live in an absolutely positively abundant universe. Sometimes I'll just think, well, I wonder how many grains of sand are on this beach, or I wonder how many leaves are on this tree, because it is an example of the massive abundance in the world that we live in. And the cool thing about nature and trees is they go through cycles just like we do. They lose all their leaves, but then the next year, the next spring, they all come back again. And finally, 15, seek guidance as necessary and look for role models, right? Remember, when we're modeling people, we're modeling certain aspects of their behavior and their thoughts and feelings and beliefs, not all of them, because we just see the tip of the iceberg. So what's our action item today? Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, because I really like objective measures. Where do you think you are with respect to an abundance mindset? An absolute 100% abundance mindset would be a 10. A scarcity mindset, really, really negative, would be a 1. Where do you fall right now? You don't have to share it. You can share it if you want. But let's just look at that. And then the list of all those 15 things we just talked about, is there one that speaks to you that you're like, okay, I haven't thought about that. I'm going to take action and start doing that today. Share that in the comments below. All right, that's it for today. Money mindset, abundance versus scarcity. And guess what? None of us are 100% of anything. Even the most pessimistic, negative, cantankerous person with an absolute positive scarcity and lack mindset will have abundant thoughts on occasion. The same is true of if we think we're really awesome and we have a crazy, great abundance mindset. Guess what? We still have thoughts of lack and scarcity, and we still see examples, and we still have things that happen that throw us into that scarcity and lack mindset. All right, have an awesome day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.